Alright team, it's the day of weigh-in for the Canelo event and the UFC event for that matter, and I'm still undecided as to do some sort of preview for the Canelo show, as the Plant, Rowley and the main event, the fights themselves, seem a little bit too one-sided. Anyway, whilst I flip back and forth in my mind over what to do for tomorrow, let's have a look today at the LVD Sport business perspective around the main event at the T-Mobile, of what should be, if nothing else, a money-spinning night. Now, I've already made a video documenting the behind-the-scenes wrangling between the dueling Nevada properties as well as their tenants for the night, and that's Canelo and the PBC at the T-Mobile and UFC at the Sphere, as well as all the other players involved. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. It's not even 6 minutes long, but I do cram a fair bit in. Now, onto the Canelo-Berlanga fight. Canelo is currently operating under a multi-fight deal with PBC, which is believed to have one more fight left after this one on Saturday night. And during this deal, he's traditionally faced PBC fighters when promoted by the Al Heyman-led outfit. Fights like the Caleb Plant and Jamel Charlo ones, as well as others, are seen as natural opponents under the PBC banner. However, choosing Edgar Berlanga, a fighter under contract with Matchroom and promoted by Eddie Hearn, is a curious break from this pattern, or it could just be that PBC stable is thinning out so much that it's almost appearing like Canelo's hairline, and they're so desperate to fill the contract with Amazon Prime that they made the deal with Matchroom and Berlanga. Edgar's marketability likely played a major role. Berlanga, who is of Puerto Rican descent, has generated significant buzz early in his career, largely due to his 16-bout-long knockout streak. The Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry is one of the oldest and most marketable in boxing, making Berlanga a lucrative opponent for a fight scheduled on Mexican Independence Day weekend. From a marketing perspective, it's a perfect matchup to draw in casual and passionate boxing fans alike. Berlanga, still somewhat unproven against elite competition, is a big investment for Matchroom. A fight with Canelo, even in defeat, puts Berlanga in the spotlight. If he performs well, his stock rises. If he loses badly, Matchroom might recalibrate his career path. However, the exposure will do wonders for Berlanga's brand and visibility. While Canelo is currently under a contract with PBC, his long-standing relationship with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom likely played a role in this fight being made. Canelo's stature in the sport gives him the flexibility to dictate terms beyond the norm for most fighters. He has fought under different banners and with different networks, allowing him to cherry-pick matchups regardless of which stable they come from. On the PBC side, agreeing to a non-PBC fighter might seem surprising, but it's likely because the risk for Canelo in this fight is perceived as somewhat minimal. PBC would still promote and host a major fight on a significant date, generating strong pay-per-view buys. Furthermore, allowing Canelo to face Berlanga might also be part of a broader strategy to extend goodwill, almost in the form of making this bout a favour with Canelo, as the Mexican superstar is known for switching promotional partners depending on what best serves his career. For Eddie Hearn, getting Berlanga this opportunity is a win-win situation. While the general assumption when Berlanga signed with Matchroom was that any future Canelo fight would take place on a Matchroom show, having Berlanga in a high-profile fight even, regardless of who promotes it, keeps Hearn involved in the conversation. If Berlanga wins, Matchroom gets a major star on its hands. If he loses, Matchroom still benefits from the exposure Berlanga will receive. With Berlanga fighting Canelo this soon, and on a PBC card rather than a Matchroom one, it does raise questions about how much faith Matchroom has in Berlanga's ability to develop into a major player in the super middleweight division, or the offer that Berlanga received was just too good to turn down. However, by allowing Berlanga to fight Canelo on the PBC, Hearn positions himself to benefit regardless, also by being part of a fight that enables Canelo to tick off one of his fights on the PBC contract. Hearn's long-term goal may be to bring Canelo back to Matchroom once the PBC deal expires, and assisting in this fight could be part of that longer game. The short time frame between the fight's announcement and the fight night itself suggests a more business-driven decision rather than one based on competitive parity. There's little time to build the fighting or the fight through traditional marketing, but given the names involved, it likely wasn't necessary. Instead, the bout is being sold on the strength of Canelo's star power and the historical significance of Mexican Independence Day in boxing. Some might argue that the short notice and the choice of opponent point to this being more of a cash grab than a carefully planned fight. Canelo stands to make significant money fighting a less dangerous opponent on a date that guarantees high pay-per-view buys. The venue, the state of Nevada, and all the parties involved, PBC, Matchroom and Berlanga's team, will also benefit financially from what is essentially on paper anyway, a high-profile showcase rather than a genuine test for Canelo. Canelo could be looking to fight more frequently, even if it means taking lesser challenges. With a free fight deal to fulfill under PBC and the business of the sport in a state of flux at the moment, getting a soft opponent like Berlanga on short notice helps him remain active while saving bigger matchups for later. Should Berlanga perform well, Matchroom may still have significant leverage over the super middleweight division. Either way, Hearn gets his cut from this fight, and if Berlanga doesn't deliver, Canelo remains one step closer to finishing that PBC deal, giving that Hearn that all-important opportunity to bring him back to the fold. And don't forget, if Canelo were to sign with Matchroom again, he's putting even more distance between himself and David Benavidez, a fight which he really doesn't look like he's interested in taking. In many ways, this fight exemplifies the business of boxing today, where fights are often about financial gain, timing and relationships, rather than the purely competitive matchups. Canelo remains a massive draw, and Berlanga offers a marketable lower-risk opponent for a profitable pay-per-view on such a big date. Al Haymon and his PBC vehicle are, as usual, at the forefront of the biggest events in the United States, and Matchroom and Eddie Hearn have managed to get a payday without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, fans are left to wonder whether they're watching a fight that truly matters or simply the latest instalment in boxing's complex business machinery. The wheel, indeed, just keeps on turning. That's all from me this time. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Apologies for the flubs, but I do this all in one take. No edits here. If you do and did indeed like it, please don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell to stay notified of when I upload something new. Until next time, don't forget to keep your gloves up and your chin down.